Hi everybody, welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. Dacob here. Today we're going to talk about a comment that was left in the chats in my live stream by NK saying, what do you think if there are some people who just start their luxury journey into the luxury world and they haven't experienced a Chanel double flap, for example, bag, but the price is crazy, but these people want to experience the new bag. Like what is one to do? This is a really interesting question because it taps into so many psychological and sociological aspects. Because first of all, for the people who have purchased a Chanel bag already in the past, it's like, you know, when you bought your Chanel classic flap when it was $3,000, $2,000, like, yay, now you're thinking, yay, because now they're $10,000, $11,000 for the maxi. What to do? How is a person to say no? Like, what do you do with the money? Well, it's difficult, really difficult, because I understand that some people that are, you know, just entering now into the luxury world, whether they be very young and they're just discovering the world of fashion and on all of these brands, and it can be very tantalizing and mesmerizing and hypnotizing even, because it is a beautiful world, right? When you see it from the outside, the gorgeous boutiques, the beautiful ad campaigns in the magazines, and the lifestyle they portray is fluffy and soft and protected and coveted, and anything seems possible, and you just want a taste of that world. And then you go to the shop and they tell you, oh yeah, the bag, yeah, sure, we have the bag, $10,000 plus tax. And you go, wow, okay, well, yeah, what to do? Really tough, because times have changed so much. And especially if we're talking about a Chanel timeless classic bag, it has become so much of a status symbol in a way that, but the price has gone so much up that I believe that Chanel has burned themselves. Maybe it's not visible just yet, but maybe it will become visible in a year or two when sales inevitably drop, because, I mean, prices keep going up. So what's the timeless classic flap is going to cost $20,000 pretty soon. I mean, if they're going to do 15% price increases every year, I mean, 15% on $100 is not a lot. 15% on $10,000 is a way more substantial price increase. So you're very quick to get to $20,000 per bag, right? So the price that the bags are at right now, and also the quality they're at right now, particular at Chanel. Now, everything I say in this video is just my opinion, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything is for entertainment purposes only. Everything I say is just alleged. The prices that I see right now at Chanel for their leather bags compared to the quality of the leather, where the quality does not meet my personal standards, well, it feels like a travesty, quite frankly, because I see other wonderful brands out there that deliver much better quality, in my humble opinion, just my opinion, than Chanel does when it comes to leather. And I think to myself, why don't people see this? Why don't people just want to buy something else? Well, the problem is the status symbol. Chanel does symbolize a certain type of luxury and lifestyle that a lot of people dream about. Chanel is just really good at putting a price to that dream. And they're really good at finding out just how much far they can push the price for that dream so that you still consider paying that amount of money for that dream. They're really good at that. They have a diabolically genius marketing teams. And I'm telling you, it's really hard to give an answer to your question, because once that Chanel bug bites you, it's really hard to resist. It almost feels like an addiction. You will try to do anything to find the funds to purchase what you really want to get. Like, it becomes like an obsession. And that can be quite dangerous, in my humble opinion. I'm no professional doctor of any sort, so obviously I cannot analyze or give tips on health, mental health at all. I can just talk about my experience, and I can tell you, things can become obsessive. And when they do, you kind of tend to become blinded by that. You obsessively focus on that one thing, and you kind of phase out everything else surrounding you, and you just like go towards that one thing, and it becomes an obsession, and it wastes a lot of time. You waste time spending time with your loved ones, with your friends, enjoying life. Like you become like your life shrinks, your entire existence shrinks into this little tiny creature that, like a golem, that only lives for my precious, for that object of desire that the brand marketing managed to distill and instill inside of you. And it is scary. It's a scary place to be. And it's not easy to get out of that place, because the less obtainable that object of desire is, and brands know this, the more you're going to crave it. And all they ever want is to create that desirability and to make it come back for more. And then you're going to start purchasing whatever you can afford. The lipstick, the blush, just to own a piece of that brand. But they're going to keep those bags, those ultimate status symbols, just out of reach, so that they can keep you dreaming for more. And I'm telling you here and now, if I were any form of legislator in the government, I would really fight hard to try to get laws in place to limit what brand marketing is allowed to do in terms of brainwashing people. Because I don't know if there's any legislature that is really openly limiting the type of mental manipulation that brand marketing goes to with people, and especially vulnerable people that don't have a very developed, strong character. Because some of the games, some of these brands are playing, in my humble opinion, should be illegal. They condition you into submission. They condition you into being ready to sacrifice a lot. And I mean a lot, for the sake of owning one of their products, because we tend to, at a certain point, stop seeing that bag of desire as just a bag, but we start seeing it as the solution to all our problems. Oh, if I only could have that bag, I would be so happy. And this is brand marketing doing this to you. And this is what I think should be illegal. Allowing brand marketing to go so far to manipulate, because especially the vulnerable people. And yet here we are, and it's not illegal in many countries. I don't know if there's any country where it's illegal to kind of play with brand marketing that much, But once this bug bites you and you really want that object of desire that the brands cleverly make just that much expensive so you can't really reach it, but you suffer. It causes you pain. You're suffering because you can't get it, because you can't buy it. What's the antidote? I don't know. This is what makes me so sad, Oh, the chat froze. Is there something I need to read? No. I wish I had an answer to soothe that urge that's inside of you to drop $10,000 on a bag. But I've been there myself, and it's like, you could say, oh, it's easy for you to say, Dacob, you have all the classic bags you want already. And it's true. The fact that I have a lot of them is has helped me free myself from them. You see, because once you have that product, it kind of loses its power over you. And the brand doesn't want to lose the power over you. They don't want to lose their grip over you. That's why they have to keep the prices so high, because they have to keep the desirable pieces unattainable, just that much unattainable for the masses, so that they still can have a hold on you. So that they can still occupy a place in your mind, take up your time, make you obsess about them. That's the strength they have. Because if they don't have that psychological hold over you, they have no power, because you're not going to be interested anymore in spending your money there. And if they don't get money from you, they can't survive. They need money. It's a business. They need money to keep surviving. So it's very clever what they're doing from a marketing point of view and from an economical point of view. But it is, how far is this detrimental to the health of consumers? And I wish I had a solution to this, but I don't. You know, I wish I could give you little tips and say, oh, do this to get your mind off of the bag. Do that to get your mind off the bag. Nothing helped me. Nothing worked for me. I got the bag. and that was the only thing that kind of made me feel more at peace. They had a total grip over me. And so I wish I were that strong person that can tell you now, yeah, I decided not to buy the bag ultimately, and I could resist. I did not resist. I'm that person that bought the bag several times. Lucky that they cost like 1/10 of the price that they cost today. I was hoping in a way that when the brands upped their prices so high, like Chanel is doing at the moment, that would be the antidote to the FOMO. Like that they would raise the price so high that the masses would get disgusted. You know? When you oversaturate yourself with a flavor of something, you get sick of it. You don't want it anymore. And a similar thing can happen when something is overpriced. A brand can price themselves out of the market as well. It has worked for me, but again, easy for me to say because I already have those bags. But Chanel has disgusted me with their bag prices at the moment. You know, it just makes me don't even want to look at them. I'm done. I still love some of their clothes and their jewelry, even though those are overpriced as well. But I just love them because at least they have prints, designs, shapes, changes, forms, colors that kind of vary from collection to collection. While the bag, the classic flap is always the classic flap. That's the shape it has. If you change the shape, it's a different bag. It's not a classic flap anymore, right? But I was hoping that the masses would realize like, okay, ooh, this is really so expensive at this point. Yeah. Now I have become immune to the grip that they have over me. But I'm noticing that a lot of people still feel like, oh, $11,000 for a maxi? Oh, yeah, it's a lot. But I really still want it. I haven't really heard masses yet saying, okay, this is disproportionately too expensive. It killed the desire in me to own this bag. A few people I've heard say this, but I still hear a lot of people saying, I don't care if it's 11,000, I still want it. You know, so the question for me is, first and foremost, what is the limit? What is the price this bag should have for the masses to finally say, now I'm disgusted. Now I really see how greedy this action is. Like, what's the limit? 20K, 30K, 40, 50, 60, $70,000 for a timeless classic jumbo, $80,000, $100,000 for a timeless classic jumbo in black caviar with gold hardware, $200,000. what's the limit after which the masses will really say, yeah, we're done? Because quite frankly, at 11,000, I'm not hearing the screams yet of people saying I'm done. A couple of us are saying we're done, and it's frightening. It's really, really scary that to acknowledge how much power the brands have over us and over our desires and manipulating our desires into that direction of spending. It's super scary because I see that there's a hold. And listen, and I'm also guilty as charged because I still love Chanel. I love the stories. I love Coco Chanel's history and her design methodology and how genius she created clothes and accessories around the human body. I love it. I love all of it. That's not the fact that the brand is really greedily pushing their prices up real high now is not going to change my desire in kind of loving the brand's history. And I'm still sitting here thinking, well, it's a phase. Now they're going through something. They can't be this greedy all the time. Wishful thinking, maybe it's like having that abusive partner and you keep going back to thinking, it's going to get better. They're not going to hit me anymore. They apologized the last time they slapped me. So I believe them. The slap is the price increase. The slap is lowering the quality of the leather yet again, but increasing the price. That's another slap. They hit you again. And you're like, oh, that hurt. Yeah, but they're not going to do it again. Because they've done it now and they apologized somehow. Or you, in your mind, you think they apologized. They're not going to do it again. And then they hit you again. This is kind of how I condition myself to try to detach myself from the power the brands have over me. Like I envision it as a kind of an abusive relationship. And I try to free myself by stepping away, not keep going back for more pain. And it's a process, and waking up is difficult. And usually this type of victim, there's a lot of victim shaming going around, right? When somebody has been in an abusive relationship, and a lot of times if you're the victim, people are going to tell you, well, you were looking for it. You wanted it. You were begging for it, But it's hard to explain. Sometimes it's not like you really want it. You don't want it, but you become a slave to it. It is like an abusive relationship. I personally see it as an abusive relationship. And so once you start seeing it that way, maybe, just maybe, it becomes a little bit easier to free yourself from the FOMO of brand marketing. So yeah. There you go. I don't know. BOL Masterpiece says, Chanel also overpriced their fine jewelry. A diamond bracelet with a total carats less than a Bulgari Serpenti diamond bracelet is 20K more. And they don't even list where it's made. Oh yeah, Chanel is notorious for like kind of hiding really the information of where the product is coming from. And, with the fine jewelry, particularly very, very kind of sketchy on the website. It's also hard to, they don't really state details as much as I would appreciate them to. Tina says, the youngest may have it harder now. It's like a rite of entry for adulthood, buying luxury anything. Totally true. It's a very different type of pressure executed on the youth of today that's growing into luxury. And we've also noticed with the whole Greta Thunberg movement, right? Kids are more awake and aware today. Some are. and are just not interested in the luxury stuff. Like, we are maybe that last generation that has been completely brainwashed by consumerism, whether you are a baby that was raised in the 70s, 80s, 90s, or 2000s, especially 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Those 3 decades were major brainwashers, I believe. Those 3 decades, if you're born in one of those 3 decades, major brainwashing when it comes to consumerism. Major brainwashing, not raising enough awareness about it. Already in the 10s, also tricky, but now in the 20s, I think the kids, now in the 20s are a little bit more aware. There's a little bit more consciousness going around. But the kids that were raised in the 80s and 90s and the 10s and the zeros, oh honey, total victims. Total victims. Kev is asking an interesting question. When do we think luxury fashion will go out of fashion for the masses? Completely out of fashion, never. I think luxury fashion will always have its allure because there's always going to be people that are going to want to feel more exclusive, better. And I think as long as luxury brand marketing manages to convey to potential consumers that by buying their products, they are better than others, as long as they can cater to that need in people, there will always be a need for luxury fashion. Because the elitism that goes with it is a part of what a lot of, not all of them, but what a lot of these luxury brands, I think, hope will work on their clients, right? Trying to tell them, listen, if you check out YouTube videos of people going shopping, filming secretly or not secretly, if they're influencers, they get allowed access to film in certain places, blah, 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 fittings before fashion shows, or just shopping in boutiques. Actually, it happened to me several times when I went shopping too, where the sales associate is going to tell you, and this never works on me, by the way, because I find it really vile. But did that ever happen to you guys where you go shopping and the sales, okay, so you're holding a piece in your hand and the sales associate says, this is an amazing piece. There's only 3 of them made. By the way, this happened to me when I was at Versace once, many years ago in Paris. This was right around the era when the Versace for H&M collection launched, or before that. And they said, I was looking at some jewelry or bags, and the sales associate said, oh, this is an amazing bag, very few were made. It looks great on you. Lady Gaga wore it too. And I'm like, keep the bag. I don't want the bag. It happened to me at Moschino once in Rome. It was also, it was a jacket or a scarf. I can't remember. But the sales associate said to me, again, very special, very limited. And what's her name? Some actress, singer from Italy, but she's, I think, from Austria. I can't remember. She said, oh, she wore it to this talk show. Oh my God, such an exclusive piece. And I'm like, why are you trying to sell this to me by saying that some star, some famous person wore it? Like, you're making me sound like I can be like them if I wear it. I can be a part of that elite group if I buy the same thing somebody else. I'm like, that just makes me a loser. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, great. I'm gonna buy the bag Gaga wore. It's gonna make me feel fabulous. It's gonna make me feel like a total loser. Like, I don't want to wear what she's wearing. I want to be different. If I'm going to spend all of this money, I don't want to know that everybody can wear it, right? Especially not somebody who has such ginormous exposure and 5 billion people are going to see that bag. So it's already been overseen. So might as well go to H&M then. H&M comes with a whole other can of worms of sustainability issues and moral issues, obviously, and we don't condone. But I'm just saying, like, what's the point? What's the point? But that's what the brands usually cater to, especially luxury brands. They're going to try to sell you something as exclusive, and some famous person also has it, so you should get it too. And it's just so vile. I really don't like it when that conversation goes on, when a sales associate thinks I'm so dumb to fall for that. Really irks me. It really, really irks me, you know, because yeah, that's that, you know, that's that. And yes, Anderson Martins, you're completely right. Coco Chanel always said it. Luxury is not the opposite of poverty. Luxury is the opposite of vulgarity. And Diego Gold is asking, Dacob, I wonder why you, being such a collector, don't own any classic Chanel beige bags. Because Coco Chanel didn't do beige bags. Coco Chanel did black bags and Tyrian red and Tyrian pink bags. Beige came later. What Coco did in beige is the slingbacks. Guess what Dacob has? Dacob has the beige slingbacks in suede and in lambskin. So that's why. There you have it. Gloria said it, but most people don't want to be different. They buy into keeping up with the Joneses. Bingo. So, I cannot answer your question, NK, but I can tell you that we're all struggling through it, or a lot of us in the luxury community have been through it, and it's really tough, really, really tough to free ourselves from the stronghold that a lot of these brands have on us. And I wish we would be free. We're not there yet. But we can work on it. I think acknowledging the fact that there is a problem is already a huge step forward. And we can kind of build on that. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, never forget to never give up on love and subscribe. Bye.